We've made offers to Brian Norman, WBO champion, Barrios, WBC champion, and Stanionis, WBA champion. All have been rejected. The one that I think has legs, and I saw him and his father come out in the last 24 hours, is Brian Norman, the WBO champion. We've made Top Rank 2 offers now for Brian Norman. Both have been rejected in a pleasant fashion. I mean, not, we get on very well with Top Rank. He said, he posted yesterday saying we made a counter offer. We've not received any counter offer. So Brian, if you would like to make a counter offer, please hurry up and do so. But I want to make that fight. And if Brian Norman has the balls, and if Brian Norman is genuine, Brian, if you're genuine, let's go. Let's.
Leading my people, man. Hey, this is the latest on the situation with the Boots fight on our end. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with Boots and Bozy on this team. I reached out to him after Eddie Hearn did his interview yesterday. We reached out immediately to Matchroom Lawyers, the one that sent the offer, and asked, what is this about us declining 2 offers? Matchroom Lawyer comes back with, oh, we didn't realize you sent a counter offer, which I find that hard to believe, because how can you say we declined anything? That means you never looked at the response to your offer. Because the first offer was it was ridiculous, but the second offer was close, and we can work with it a little bit. So anyway, we asked, what's your final offer? There's been no response, nothing since then. Eddie Hearn said, Brian Norman told me and my son told us to reach out to him soon so we can get this done. That's exactly what we did. It's been 7 days since the first contract was sent, so I know they work on Saturdays. I know they're up and running on Saturdays. Here it is, 4 o'clock the next Saturday. We're waiting to see what's happening. So again, that's all respect to Team Ennis. We all with it. Got nothing but love for them. I hope people don't think all of that bullshit was rah-rah towards them. None of that. No. We just don't want the smoke in the ring, man. We want the smoke in the ring. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing personal. Boza didn't turn the fight down. Let me make that clear. Boost didn't turn the fight down. I don't think anybody's lying. I think it's just a bunch of misinformation going around. But at this point, it looks like it's bullshit going on at this point, because we clearly reached back out and said, what is your final offer? That's been 24 hours. Nobody has said a word. So if you can respond and say you didn't realize we sent the offer, then we ask you, okay, what is your counter offer? But then we say, okay, well, what's your final offer? And you don't say anything at all. That sounds kind of fishy. So I reached out to Bozy, asked him, just let him know what was going on or whatever. And I guess he gonna do whatever he do on his end, and we gonna do what we do on this end to make the best fights for the fans to see at 147. I appreciate it. Hey man, it's been a crazy ass day and a crazy ass time. Do you know how easy it is to dispute this whole situation? Like I'm glad I did what I did, and I trust my instincts. I called Bozy Ennis as soon as we sent that offer off. As we sent the counter offer off, I called Bozy Ennis and I told him I told him the number. I told him the number they offered us. I told him what we asked for back, and I said, I just want to let you know we accepted the fight. Bozy did not know what the fuck I was talking about, but Bozy is not a liar, and he will tell you that I called him. He will tell you what I said. You understand? Bottom line, if this whole situation is about whether we're lying or not, did we turn that off or not, the answer is no. I don't know if people are telling Eddie the wrong information and Boost the wrong information. We didn't turn it down because some people don't want to get it made. We never turned it down. The fight is still very much alive. This fight is happening. There's no reason for it not to happen. All right? So ain't nobody on the internet doing the clown shit, lying, talking.
We did not. And he was like, they turned it down. They turned it down. Nigga, what the fuck? No, we did not. Nigga, we already with you in the alley. No, we ain't turned shit down. No smoke duck. We told y'all that. The fans can make up what they want to make up. They better step. No smoke duck. Ain't no fucking narratives. Ain't no nothing. We want the fight. We want to fight the best. My son is the youngest champion in boxing today. This is another chance for him to be great. This is a chance for him to be a unified two-time world champion at 23 years old. That's huge. That's major. Why the fuck would we turn that down?
So I guess it makes sense. Boots Ennis. Yeah. Last time we spoke, you talked about reaching out to Norman's team and looking to make that fight. What is the latest update?
Do you know what? Like, it's frustrating because you hear everything that Brian Norman Senior or his daddy's saying, and none of it really makes sense. Like, if this is a really simple situation. The first offer that was made to Brian Norman was nicely over $1 million. They said that they felt that, not insulting, but was nowhere near. We've made 2 more offers, $250,000 every time now, to levels that Brian Norman will never see. And it's like, we keep getting told we're close, then we go back and make another offer, and then we're told by his team that we're actually not that close. And I start to think, Brian Norman, do you want this fight, or are you clout chasing, or as the others might say over here, cap, or whatever it is?
Not sure that works, but
Not
fine.
sure it is either. But it's like, do you want to be great, Brian Norman? Like, not being funny. Who is Brian Norman? I know Brian Norman's a good fighter, but no one knows who Brian Norman is. We're giving you a bucket load of money and an opportunity for you to unify the division against, in my opinion, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Now, you say Boots is overrated. You say he's not the bogeyman. Then why wouldn't you take this bucket load of money to prove that you're the best welterweight in the world? So let's just stop with the interviews online. We've gone back 3 times now with more money, to a point, like, with all due respect to Brian Norman, he shouldn't be making this kind of money. But we're ready and we're prepared to pay him it. And then we get told, oh, you're miles off. It's like, we just saw an interview with this guy saying we're right close. We've just gone back with another $250,000, and now you're telling us we're miles away. So I don't believe the bullshit of Brian Norman and the team. If you want the fight, you would have taken the fight. And now, we're in a situation where the IBF, which is absolutely ridiculous, has ordered Trudezian to fight. The rematch. Listen, the kid's a good fighter.
Head this off before it even get started with Eddie Hearn, so I can go on and stop the cap. Eddie Hearn, you trying to spin this? Check this out. The first offer was was less than a third of what Boots made for David Avenesian. David Avenesian is only famous for getting beat by or getting knocked out by Bud. We was picking at David Avenesian. We was picking at his name and everything about David Avenesian before he fought Bud. Now all of a sudden David Avenesian is a name. It's the same thing I said about everybody got to be attached to a person, then they become a name. All right. So now your first offer was that, and it was literally just a little bit more than what you gave David Avenesian, and my son is a world champion. He brings to the table the exact same thing that Boots brings to the table. Boots doesn't bring anything more to the table than my son brings. It's a unification bout. He has his belt. My son has his belt. My son is taking all the chances. He's taking all the risks. You got it? So that's what you do. The second offer was less than half of what Boots made his last fight. The third offer was half of what Boots made his last fight. To be exact, damn near. It was literally half of what Boots made his last fight. So imagine what Boots is going to make in this unification bout. Considerably more than he just made in his last fight. So, not speaking actual numbers, I'm speaking actual facts. You tell me I'm lying. That's what it was. You did not want to make this fight. The only reason you did this was to tell Boots and his team that you tried to make the fight. You did not make the fight. I gave Boza the numbers. I told Boza what the numbers was. Both know that's some bullshit. Good evening, man. Good evening, man. Full transparency again. It's been days. We waited 3 days. We waited like 3 days for another offer to even come back. We waited 3 days before they reached back out. It was crazy. So anyway, when we did, they came back out still low, still short. We can make this fight happen. If Eddie Hearn is who he say he is, he got Turkey Al-Sheikh in his corner, we can make this work. We most definitely did not price ourselves. That's why this is even being talked about, because you know Eddie wouldn't have had a problem coming out telling you we outpriced ourselves. We did not at all. We're ready to go. My son is not optimistic anymore about this fight happening. I totally am, because I know my son can beat Jaron Ennis, and this is a great opportunity, but I can't let him go out like that. I can't let him do it for what they trying to say. I can't do that. But either way it go, we ready to go, man. Full transparency. So, but yeah, Eddie, let's go.
So with the boost situation, man, I'm so sick of that shit. We can't do an interview and I say his name and I give him respect and I give his daddy respect, because of course they helped us out tremendously. I've said this shit a million fucking times. We can't do an interview without a motherfucker in the comments saying, but they don't want to say Boo's name. They won't. I say his name every interview. Y'all just not fucking listening. I say the man's name every interview. We will fight Boost tomorrow. We will fight Boost this weekend. You understand? Boost has done 3 interviews that I seen myself personally since my son fight. Not one time has he said Brian Norman name, and not one comment that I see. Why you not calling out Brian Norman Jr.? I didn't see not one comment. You feel what I'm saying? He can do whatever the fuck he want. My dad, why is the energy not the same, bro? That's all I'm asking. We will fight the man if they choose to say they want to fight us. If they choose to push those numbers, if Eddie Hearn comes and pushes and makes that fucking offer to us, we taking the fucking fight. Do you hear that? We are taking the fucking fight. We won't take no disrespect from it. We won't take no nothing from it. If they come to us and they think we the weakest link, because the fact that they think we the weakest link, we gonna take that shit as, okay, you about to learn something. We gonna take it as more motivation. No disrespect, but we're gonna take it as more motivation, and we coming with the thunder. That's it.
Right? Now they may not value Brian Norman Jr. at that price, but they have to sometimes sacrifice, because you have to make sacrifices to secure what you're looking for. And Brian Norman is in a position of power in this situation, and he's not asking to be treated the same as Boots. He's not asking for 50-50. He's just asking to get paid handsomely, right? Rightfully so. Now Eddie Hearn and DAZN have been trying to lowball him. Then you have the WBA champion in Amanda Stanionis, who was making the same claims that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom is trying to lowball them. So here's the thing. Jaron Boots Ennis has not secured a marquee fight. He fought against Sergey Lipinets, Thomas Delorme, and Via, right? But they're not marquee names.
Shout out to the homie Brian Norman Sr. I hit the man up on Instagram. I sent him the screenshot. I said, yo, is this true? F. Jaron Boots Ennis. Brian Norman said, we told him $2 million. My son would have made $960,000 and Boots would have made $5 million. Get the hell out of here.
Through, all because of finances. The Normans, I want to say this first and foremost. Sorry, man, to Brian Norman Jr. That guy wanted that fight like a mofo. And his father, Brian Norman Sr., was definitely behind it. You know, he was trying to get that fight going. But they were offering Brian Norman Jr. a stick of gum and aluminum foil. Remember Rocky IV? Remember that press conference with Rocky and Drago, and Rocky took that shitty deal?
How much are you making for this fight?
No money. It's not about money.
Has the fight date been set yet?
December 25th.
Why Christmas?
That's what I was told.
Where?
It's in Russia.
Well, Brian Norman Jr. couldn't do that. But the thing is, I can't really blame Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, because Karen, you guys remember Karen. Boots and Karen had that horrific fight. Anyway, Karen is his mandatory, and they will have to pay him step aside. All right, so you in order for Boots and Brian Norman Jr. to happen, you have to pay him step aside. And in order to pay step aside, the budget for that left only room for Brian Norman Jr. to not even be able to afford to pay the sanctioning fees, the taxes, the source. I mean, he just couldn't fight for nothing, especially when he's a WBO champion himself.
His dad just told you they're taking days to get back. It took 3 days here, and they sent another offer, and it's a little bit more, it's closer, but still not the number we're asking for. If you have, listen to what I'm saying, if you have tens and 20 millions of dollars to lose, people are blaming Brian Norman. They're saying like, oh, the Normans don't want it. Why would you split hairs if you can lose 10 million on a Crawford event? You can't give Brian Norman $500K more than your previous offer. Heck, 1, 2, 3 million more, right? Just to get the fight done, because that's what it's going to take. You already have to overpay Boots because he was working on Showtime. They were doing a great job with them, getting good placements on Gervonta Davis' card. He was becoming an urban legend, right? He just needed more activity. And now that he became a free agent, he could have had that if he stayed with Showtime. And guess what? I'm sure that Barrios, they already offered when he was with, I know for a fact, PBC offered Jaron Ennis Barrios fight. They were trying to make that, right? Or maybe even Stanionis, who just signed an extension with PBC. So if Boots stayed with Al Heyman or that side, because he wasn't with Al Heyman initially, let me correct that. But he was with the same people, Showtime, Steven Espinoza. He left that situation and he got with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is not getting these big fights for him, right? And again, back to my initial question, why are we arguing over $500K if you have $30 million to lose in 2 events with UFC at the Sphere and Crawford Madrimov? Why can't Brian Norman get some more money? This is not making sense to me. So I know a lot of people are trying to blame the Normans and say, oh, they don't really want it and stuff like that. They have something Jaron Boots not only wants, but they have something that he needs.